I think I'm going to do another video this week. And what are the things that I'm going to be reading? Because people are like freaking out. Like, I'm not going to tell you if you have an erectile dysfunction. Don't worry. I'm not going to say that.
You are such a... OMG, you're such a catch.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to You're Such a Catch. This is Erin, and I feel like I am just bringing the heat, season 2. Today's episode is fire, sheer fire. I am chatting with Susan Ibitz, who is a human behavior hacker. Okay, I asked myself the same question. What on God's green earth is a human behavior hacker? I'm like, ugh, but you're gonna find out today. And seriously, it's insane. So before we dive in, I wanna just backtrack to last week. Loved my chat with Mindy Scheiben. A lot of you did too. Thank you so much for tuning in. I was worried. I was like, are my listeners still here? But oh, you guys are coming in full force and so much positive feedback about the episode. I can hardly take any credit for that. That is all Mindy, but I hope you're tuning into the show. I hope you're watching her journey, and I hope all the pieces are coming together. But I, like I said in the episode, have no doubt she is going to find her Prince Charming. He is there, and mine is too. I mean, he has to be out there somewhere just waiting for me. You might notice my voice sounds a little bit different, a little bit more mature, maybe a little bit more polished. My snort might be a little bit more aggressive. Why is that? Because I celebrated a birthday. I am now 39. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a crazy ride. You just blink and all of a sudden you're 39. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. So thank you all for the birthday wishes, and just for all of you who reached out and made this girl feel special. I so appreciate you. Speaking of people who make me feel special, I want to give a shout out to Katie, my sister from another mister. Katie, thank you so much for supporting my journey, for being a patron, for texting me when I don't have an episode out and being like, girl, I want to listen. You fuel my fire, and I just so appreciate you and your friendship so much, and also for tuning in every week. I mean, it is like we're hanging out, even though we're not, right? Gotta love that. So now on to the episode, you guys. Okay, so quick little history here. So I met Susan on an episode of Eric Hunley's live YouTube. He was doing a collaboration with Susan and reading people's faces live, literally live. So I sent my photo over, and when it was my turn, I had a little bit of nerves and butterflies, and Susan just started doing her thing. I mean, you will see, she is just fascinating. I mean, just quirky, unique. She's just so freaking cool. And she started reading my face, and, you know, I was present to kind of respond. So it kind of works, you know, just like how Facebook Live or something works. So they're talking and I can't, you know, talk to them, but I can DM and write in. And so it was just so fun and fascinating what she was able to tell me about myself. I mean, she didn't know me, right? She saw my photo and then 2 seconds later was basically diving in, and she was pretty spot on. So she dives a little bit deeper on today's episode, you know, reading my face and talking about what my eyebrows and my chin and my ears all say about me. And I am super excited because she and I are going to collaborate on our own event. We are going to do a little swipe session with a few of the single ladies listening, and she is going to read their faces, and then she is going to allow them to swipe and basically indicate who would be a good match for the single ladies. So stay tuned for more details about that. I hope you guys can join. It is just something to be a part of and to watch and to witness. And she says it's a science and that we can all learn how to do this. So she does offer courses and classes, and I will be promoting those as well because I want to learn more. It is honestly fascinating. And if you've watched any of Indian Matchmaker, you'll see that, you know, Seema also went to a face reader, and I mean, it's a thing. Who knew? It's a freaking thing. So enjoy the chat, give me your feedback, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. You're Such a Catch on all social media platforms. I am sitting here with Susan Ibitz. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. Did I say it correctly?
Perfectly. You've known me for a long time.
I wish I've known you for a long time, but girl, we are going to be friends long after this podcast interview. But you are an expert in human behavior, in reading faces, in personalities. Tell me how you got started in that, and how is that even a thing? And can anybody do what you're doing, or is this special?
Most people, when they fail, they fall on the floor and they crawl in a ball and they don't go out. When that happened to me, instead to crawl in a ball and the floor and keep crying, I have a father who grabbed me from the back of my pants, slapped me on the back of the head and says, if you are doing that, you're not my daughter. Ooh. You have too many ways to go to the same place. Just look for another road. What happened is that when I was a kid, I want to be like the badass FBI profiler. I want to catch the next Unabomber. I want to do all these weird things. And what happened is I play with my dad to watching all these shows and discover who was the killer or who was the suspect before the show end. And I always says, I want to have a superpower. I want to be able to read and understand people. And when it was time to go to college, I find out that it's not a superpower. It's a science, and called the science of human behavior. And at the same time, I found out that I'm dyslexic, and this career to having my PhD before 30 is never going to happen. Actually, the guy who told me, I have two news for you. One, you're highly dyslexic. And the second one, you're kind of hot. So if you pick a good husband, you're going to do well. What? And like, no, it's not going to happen. And that's when I packed my backpack and went around the world trying to train with everybody that knows about what I want to know. And some people I need to beg and stalking them for years until they took me, because I was a civilian. I'm a civilian hostage negotiator. I've been trained for military interrogation. I've been trained by former FBI. I never was part of any of the three letters. I've been trained by them. And now I'm trained civilians. And I get to a point in my life that we was talking before, like you get certain point of your life, like you don't care anymore. Like what you see is what you get, and what you get is what is that. In some point, I'm happy then I didn't went to the normal path than I have in the beginning, because I would be in a box. And now the world is my box. So I don't have any corners. I learn from the best, and I can teach civilians how to decode that and use it in everyday life, from I don't know, dating, sperm donors to hardcore negotiation, whatever.
Sperm donors? Really? Okay.
Believe it or not, that started. I have a friend's couple that I call them my adopted girls, that they're lesbian, they got married, and they want to have kids. And both says, we want someone who has certain features that are similar to the ones we have. And by the way, everybody look great in paper, in dating and a sperm donor. So it says, can you read the profile? Like, this is lying, this is going to have a lot of problem. And this one have certain features that you guys have. So when they have the baby, and oh my God, the baby look like us. They're like, well, you asked me to pick someone who have certain feature like you. And a lot of people they met because you go into support group when you're doing that. And oh my God, you need to meet Susan. So I put it in my resume because I like to help people. And I think the only desire as a human being that you cannot foresee is the desire to be a parent. I never have that like baby boom desire. Never have kids, but I do understand for friends who get 40 and says, I'm going to have a baby by myself. I don't care. I'm not going to wait for the charm prince to come to my life. I want to be a parent. So when I started seeing my friends go into that ordeal, I understood that how difficult it is and how important at the same time. Okay, I'm going to help as many people as I can, but not because it's my career. It's because I want to help people to achieve whatever they want in life. If your achievement is to have a kid who have certain traits like you have, why not to help? Why are you going to keep that knowledge to yourself if you can help others? And it's been a roller coaster because I have and the bathroom that I have in the study where I do my makeup and things, I have a wall full of pictures of the babies with the parents. And oh my God, those are my babies. And they invited me to
Aw.
I was on the christen, I was on the breeze because some of them are Jewish. I help Muslim families, I help Christian families, and you always see me holding the babies. And I always says, oh my God, this is a baptism. This is a church. I'm Jewish. I'm going to get burned. I shouldn't be holding this baby right now.
Oh my gosh, this is so fascinating. I wouldn't have even thought that was a possibility, but I absolutely love it. And it rings a little bit close to home because I shared with you, I'm going to be 39 in a month. And I've had those thoughts. Should I just get a sperm donor? But that's so scary.
Call me first and I can read the statement because they need to read the statement. And believe me, I caught some people like that. No way, you're not going to go with this guy. So let me know. I can help you with.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
to help people.
I will
By the way,
totally.
you need to send me the first sonogram, and I need to be informed when the baby's born, and I want a picture. That's
Oh,
my
of course.
conditions.
You can be auntie.
Oh, I have so many nieces and
I
nephews.
know, right? I know. Oh my
Because I
goodness.
know CPR. All my friends drop the kids in my house on the weekend. Says, oh my God, you want the kids safe?
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so before we get to having babies and we're in a dating phase and we're giving ourselves a shot at love, what are some things that we can look for when apps are basically the only way we're able to meet people right now, right? I mean, or do you disagree with that? Do you think there's another avenue?
You know what? I have
Loaded
a friend
question.
who is 55
Okay.
and he's handsome. Believe me, if you're dating this guy, you want to make sure you don't have any towels when he is taking a shower because it's deserves to be looked. He does Ironman every year. Like, believe me, it's my friend, but I look at him like, dude, you cannot be so sexy at 55. So he decided to take 6 months leaves from apps. And
Okay.
he went to the supermarket or coffee place and he tried to approach women and they look at him like he was a sex predator. I'm like, why? But if I see you on the app, you are able to send me a nude picture, but if I talk to you, you're not going to reply. We lost that mentality that we still can meet in a bar or in a supermarket and do the old-fashioned smile. I'm coming from a part where we didn't have a dating app. You go and dancing or coffee, somebody lift up eyebrows and you go for it. Now, apparently the only way to meet people is online dating. So I would say it's difficult because, again, it's like when you're looking for a job or an employee, everybody looks so real good in paper. And when
Yep.
you met them, men lie about the height
Mhm.
and the
Oh,
income,
all the time. All the
and
time.
women lie about the weight and the age. And I always says, I have friends who says, well, but if I says my real age, guys are not going to be willing to date me. Like, but you're lying. You're asking another person not to lie about the things that are important to you, like to be taller than you are, and you're lying about age. So when you met, he's shorter and you're older. So hello,
Mhm.
we have the same. So that has nothing to do with sex or gender, has to do with like when you set expectations in certain level, and the expectations are not met in person, that's what deceptions happen. But what you see is what I get. I
Mhm.
only build my expectations in what you show me. So I would say I prefer to go in 3 dates than 100 who are like, as soon as you walk, oh my God, how I gonna get away from this?
Right.
It's better quality than quantity. And people sometimes go on dating like it's a big fish net. No, you need to be a sniper. And when you get in a certain
Mm.
age, you understand that you're not going to change and you're not going to ask to other people to be changed either or changing to be with you. If you squeeze the toothpaste in the morning and that's bother me, that's the reason more apartments have 2 bathrooms. So you have yours, I have mine. But those things you learn it when you get to a certain age. Like you have your closet, I have mine. You have your bathroom, I have mine, if it's possible. So you avoid conflict. Why are you going to
Mhm.
be fighting about the toothpaste when are more important things to go for it? So put your goals, put what you're looking for and what you're not looking for out there. if you're an introvert that you're introspective and you need time alone, and when you come in home, even though that you has been missing your partner all day, you're going to need 15 minutes to decompress, put it out there. Say it on the first time that you go on a date. I always says, it's not like an interrogation, but it's more like an interview. The first time is like, okay, those are the things that are not going to work for me. And I want to make sure that what are the things that are not working for you. And the best relationship I had since I got divorced 10 years ago are the ones that are like, okay, let's put the elephant on the room. What are the things that for you are unacceptable, and what are the things that you cannot live without?
Yeah. No, I appreciate you saying that because it's making me think about my strategy with dating. And I really like the sniper comment because that makes total sense. I think there was a while where, it was like quantity because don't say no to anybody who asks. You know what I mean? It's good for the experience or it's good for that. But in reality, it's like a time waste. And right now in today's environment, we were speaking a little bit about the nuances of meeting someone and with a mask on. And you talked about how maybe people might misrepresent themselves on a profile. Well, now you're meeting with this mask on and you're like, okay, like, is it the person that I matched with? How can I tell? And until you get to a table and, it's kind of like the unveiling, right? It's like, okay, there you are. Yes, you resemble that person. No, you don't. And I think I lead or tend to lead more with the chemistry that's happening and less of the fundamentals like you mentioned, which is these are my non-negotiables. These are the things that I can live with and tolerate, and these are things that I cannot. And I love that. I think that's great. Like you said, you're putting it all on the table.
Erin, let's put it on the table too. Lust and luxury and that passionate in some point gone away. So what you left is with the person that maybe you're not going to have sex in a month. And it's not because the relationship have a problem. It's because you're stressed, you're premenopausal, you're sweating, you're uncomfortable, you're bloated, whatever. And sometimes, we haven't had sex in a month, but I still want to go back home to someone. So the deception is not coming from what the other person is showing if it's open. It's about the expectation you put in other people. So if your expectation, this is going to be the prince charm, this is going to be the woman who is going to be the mother of my kids, and when you meet that person doesn't meet your standards, it's not the person's fault. Now, if you ask the other person, you build those standards to make sure you have the first date, like, shame on you. Deal with it. They're going to drop you on the first date. But if you put it out there, what is going to happen? I always put independent or own my business, ISTP, sapiosexual for the ones who doesn't know what I mean, that brain is better than body. And by the way, I have a weakness for bald, chubby guys and tall. That's where my pulleys get better because it's more women don't like. I like tall, chubby, and bald. That's what drives me crazy. So that's what get my attention. I don't know. I look at.
You like what you like.
Maybe because I read faces and I do so much behavioral, I know what are the good things. Girls, if you see a bald guy and with a little belly, the hormone who make guys bald with a little belly make them better lovers. So keep a secret. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, that's lost like, let's have sex on the counter. It's going to be moved to the reality that how you wake up. You're not going to be wearing makeup in the morning. Then when you come in from the gym, maybe you're going to be sweating. You're going to have bad dates, both sides. So if you're not clear in the expectations that you have on that person, what is your to-do list that you can do and you cannot, you are setting yourself to failure. You don't need 10,000 hours of dating to find the right person. That is for a career. This is relationship. So don't date 17 to get experience. What experience you're going to have? You're going to get burned out. You're not going to be open to the next one. And maybe at the time the right one show up, You're so burned out, wasting time with that. The moment you find the right person, female or male, whatever you're looking out there, you are not appreciated because, oh my God, it's going to be another guy who, or another woman who X and Y, and you're not giving that person the chance to unveil themselves in front of you. So the one who's losing is you. I don't go to restaurants, then I don't like sushi and I'm allergic to gluten. So I'm not going to a pizza place to have a date because they're going to get bloated and throw up. Sushi, I'm not going to find anything to eat. So I know my standards. And when you're going to have a date, I prefer to have a coffee so I can escape fast if the first date doesn't work. If you establish a dinner, do you know what it is to have 3 hours with someone that maybe is burping and no? So establish your parameters. What do you want? But most important, what you don't want in life. It's helping you to go forward and what you want to be dating.
No, I love that. That's great advice. Okay, so tell me what I should be looking for when I'm swiping or when I'm seeing somebody out. Are there certain signs if I want certain characteristics or a certain personality trait? Because I feel like I could give you a couple examples.
Let's do this. I'm going to do a face on your face because you and I, we met when I did a live event and you send the pictures to be read. So thank you very much because most people don't do that. You're extremely intelligent and a doer. So you need to be somebody who is active. They want to do things. They want to go there. They want to have barbecue with friends. You're going to be doing activities. You're really evaluating, you like information, you like knowledge. So you need to be someone who fit that need to learn something new. Maybe it's like a pottery class or a cooking class. It's not for what you're going to learn. It's the fact to learn something together. And so it needs to be somebody who's adventure to like, you know what? Let's learn canoeing this weekend. Let's go to Lake Michigan and let's learn canoe. But I'm afraid to water. Don't worry, you're going to have a life saved. So I need to be that person that is adventure and it's outgoing and can put up with your extroversion. It's nothing wrong if you have an introvert, but you need to set the boundaries if that person is, okay, you're an extrovert, the person is an introvert. Okay, there are going to be events. They're not going to feel energy present, so I prefer not to go. So you're not taking personal. Okay, if you're not going to be there and you're going to be a pain in the neck, I prefer you stay home. Those are the kind of things that you agree. For you, you're going to go slow. Like, I need to see you because you had get burned before, so you're going to go slow. If the guy is expecting you to have your phone number or take you home to have a drink or the kiss on the first date, okay, dude, you haven't passed the filter. Slow down. And you need somebody who is playful and have a lot of energy because you're an energizer bunny. So you're probably going to be doing better with an extrovert or somebody who's an ambivert who know how to play with that. And you're a linear thinker. You like the step, you like the things in a certain way. So it's a person that is messy and doesn't follow the instruction to do an IKEA furniture. Hey, dude. We have a list. That's what we're going to buy in the supermarket. We agree we're going on Saturday at 10 a.m. to the supermarket. That's what we're going to buy. Get away from the cookies. We're not getting cookies. So you know that about yourself. It's great. Yeah. So you need to pair with somebody who's an engineer, an architect, somebody who is more an archetype type. They're going to be okay with your structure. Or the opposite, someone who you says, you know what, I like a structure, and that person says, you know what, I'm a mess. It's going to be great because you're going to help me to become better. That's what I'm saying. Do not look for your twin. It's the most boring relationship you can have. Look for a compliment because it's going to be excited. It's going to be a little feisty, and there's nothing better than makeup sex when you have feisty relationships. So look for the compliment. People who like, okay, I'm an organized person. I am not. It's okay with you that I am organized. Is going to help you. Actually, great. But now you need to know your limits, and you cannot be complaining for how he fold his socks when is his drawer. Draw your limit. It's not your socks. It's his drawer. You're not sharing the drawer, so let it put the socks the way he wants. Now, when there are shared spaces, through the line. Make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't fight. Pick up your fight. You know what you're going to be losing before. His drawer, his drama. He worked from home. He have his own office at home and it's a mess. You just, when you pass over, close the door
Close the
and
door.
look like it's not existent. That room doesn't belong to me. It's your mess. And everybody's
Yeah.
happy.
I don't think I've ever dated an architect or an engineer, which is very fascinating to me. That's so interesting. I think I probably I do go for myself. I go for like a salesperson, somebody who has a job or they're very animated or creative or,
And it's like two helium balloons going around the room instead to one and one catching you. No,
Yeah.
you need somebody who catch you and get you down. If you have
Yeah.
two helium balloons going around the room, what happens is you never settle because you go around your head.
Right.
So having somebody who complimenting, you know what? You're not going to believe it, but one of the best relationships that I have was with a neurosurgeon.
Really interesting. Okay.
He died a couple of years ago when we were dating, and I still cannot be in any other relationship. He was one of the most brilliant minds I ever met. He had his PhD and MD before he was 30, and he was on a couple of magazines as one of the most brilliant minds of this century. And what happened, he died when we were dating, and I couldn't replace that relationship. Why? Because my standards I found what I wanted. Now, how you compete with that? So in my case, my exercise is understand that it's not going to be replace the person that I was in love and was the love of my life. It's not going to replace that he's intelligent. I need to look for a compliment. And it's difficult for me all the time to compare like, oh, I miss those until 4 o'clock in the morning, staying in bed with the head on the pillow, talking about neuroscience and the brain and crazy things. Like, it's going to be difficult to find somebody like that. So in my case, my exercise is not first compare with somebody who you was before, not to get expectations before you go into a date, and to let the person unveil themselves. Because another thing, I'm a profiler. So I know about you before you even talk to me. Then the
That
other
has
person,
to be intimidating to men, no?
what do you think? I'm still single.
Yeah.
As soon as I say what I'm saying, what I'm doing, that's the person that I mentioned you before was the only one like, oh my God, I want to go on a date like yesterday. Like, why? Oh my God, it's fascinating. I'm studying the brain. You study the behavior inside the brain. Let's get together. So you're always going to find somebody who fits you, who complimenting you. But I didn't waste time in people like we are like, has nothing to do. Extremely extrovert that every day need to be going eating out and spending all weekends doing things is not going to work. So as soon as I talk, okay, what you do on Sundays? Oh, I always go into this and this is not going to work. Sundays, I don't take my PJs off. I disconnect my phone and I read. Oh, that is boring. Hello, thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you. Next.
Yeah.
People is not going to change. If somebody tell you that it's going to change, behavioral wise, it's not going to happen. You know what happened? Erin, did you ever try to change for a guy and you ended up resenting that person? But like, oh my God, I changed the color of my hair for you and now you're looking at blondes and now my hair is red. I need to redo it. That's what happened. That's called humanity. It's really being realistic.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have to ask you one question. So if you were reading my face, what type of lover would I be? She's going to spit out her coffee. Or is it tea? She's like, it's vodka.
No, it's green tea. It should be vodka. And remember, this is my third event today. Oh, you really want me to tell?
Oh, I do. I'm curiosity. Yes.
You're kinky. So probably your handcuffs are pink, but it's still handcuff in your wardrobe.
Okay. I love it.
And you probably like to see through camisoles and you're going to be playful and you're going to like spooning and you like the touchy feeling. So You're going to be like watching a movie. Okay, but I can have my head in your lap and you scratch my head. But like, we're watching a movie. Dude, you can do both things.
Yeah.
You like to be touched. You like to be pampered. You like to be grabbed by the hand. And your love language is is quality time, acts of kindness, and you like gift, but not because you like a diamond. You want those little things like you like a special candy. So in the morning, you find your coffee next to a candy says, I have a sweet date. Or somebody who leave you a note on the mirror. That guy is going to be the happiest dude ever because you're going to make everything possible to please him. So guys, are you about to date Erin? Do the simple things. She doesn't want a plane. No, she's just take it to Florida to a beach or take it to a Caribbean team or like today I bring you flowers. Why? Just because it's Wednesday and I miss you. Those are the things that you value. That guy is going to have a happy ending that night.
Oh my God. I think mic drop, like you gave me goosebumps. That was me to a T. To a T. And
I know, honey, that's what I do for a living.
It's just so crazy. It's so crazy that you can read that. Okay, so give me some tips and tricks now that we have to wear masks everywhere. Because in LA, where I live, everybody gets Botox. You know, sometimes people don't have a lot of expression in their forehead. I like to keep mine with a little bit of movement, but, you know, there's some people that it's all high and tight. How do we read foreheads and eyebrows and eyeballs and all that stuff?
First of all, you need to measure the size of the ears, and it's not difficult to determine when somebody have a big ear or small ears. The head start on the bump of your head, even though if you're bald, and on the chin. So if you grab an ear, doesn't matter have long ears, earrings like I have, you can measure. If I have a small ear, it's a person that is visual. So it's gonna want it to be stimulated by use your hands as a visual aid. Not too much. If you're going for coffee, make sure that person is not sitting facing the street or the entrance because it's going to get distracted and you want to be the center of the attention. Now, if the person has big ears compared to the face, it's someone who maybe is going to lower the head and is going to be listening to you and maybe it's not going to interrupt you and you're like, this person is not listening to me. But if you ask that person, it's going to repeat even the breathing pace you have during the conversation. Why? Because they're about consistency and have it right. So if somebody asks you the same question in a different way, do not get obsessed. They want to make sure they get the information because the way we take information and the way to get to our brain is our ears. So I need to listen. Small ears, they listen with their eyes. Big ears, they listen with their brain. So do you know what is the golden rule? Talk to me like I want to be talked. The platinum rule is talk to me like I need to be talked. So if the distance, it's happened to you that you're going out with a guy and the guy kept interrupting you and suddenly you want to be friends in LinkedIn and Facebook and you never see it again?
Yeah.
Remember if that person have a low distance between the eyebrow and the eyelid.
Ooh, okay.
They're really friendly. They're like all over the place. They're touchy. They want to like get in your personal space and you like personal space. Like that has nothing to do with the pandemic. Even on the phone, you like to have your personal space. You let people in your life when it's your time to let it in. You're friendly, but it's different between being friendly and I'm going to invite you to my house. You're going to go for coffee out there and probably you have friends who haven't been in your house in a long time since they met you. Why? Because you need your time. So if you're going out with somebody who have low distance between the eyebrows and the eyelid, what happened, and they're really touching and they go to a space and they tend to interrupt a lot, not because they want to, it's because their brain is going too fast and they want to eat information like it's air. They need more. So he says, oh, I used to go to college to the left. Okay, why to the left? Dude, I didn't finish my story, but I want to go why to the left. So you have those conversations like go all over the place, but you ended up in the same plane. Be patient. It's not about that person is trying to drive you crazy on purpose. It's the way the brain process. In your case, the distance between your eyelid and your eyebrows is high, meaning that you need more time. You're more personal space, emotional and physically. You probably have less things with more value. You treasure quality, not quantity. We're ladies. Hello. We have more shoes than we need, but probably yours are designers and really special. And I'm sure everything that you own have a story and have a value to your heart. You can tell a story about, you grab an outfit and like, oh my God, I remember I went with my friend and that day, the blah, 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 when I wear this sweater and everybody else is a black sweater. Like, no, but you don't, it have a value for you. So you need someone who maybe is not the same, but understand that value. Or when they says, oh, this Chinese doll doesn't go with the head. Don't touch it. It was my grandmother's, have a value for me. If you touch it, I swear I'm going to cut your fingers. Yeah. So you need to talk about those things. But again, they don't do it on purpose. For example, if somebody have a flat forehead, so look to the left or the right. I need your head turning completely. Oh, mm-hmm. So you have a flat forehead, slope back, meaning that you're creative, you're not 9 to 5, you're intake information really fast. So if somebody go too slow, you're going to get pissed off. Dude, I told you, it's the second time I told you what kind of roses I like. You bring me yellow and you bring me white. I told you red. What part of red you didn't get? Because you're going to get it really fast. But that person is more creative. So maybe it's going to bring you pink because pink is more creative. So it's people who's linear because you're thinking outside the box. You're not 9 to 5. Maybe somebody who is more linear is going to be better for you because it's going to ground you, meaning, you know what, Erin, maybe we don't need to go out for dinner every day. So flat forehead, they're a linear thinker. They're thinking like an engineer. You're thinking outside the box. You like things that are not on the regular path the other people do things. You do things in your own way. So you can have a compliment or a completely enemy if you're looking for somebody opposite. And the last tip, round eyebrows that you can do a couple of points and you can draw a circle is about people, babies, plant, and animals. Ooh. Someone who have straight eyebrows is facts and data. Don't tell that person 2 times the same story because it's like, you already told me. How many times you went to the supermarket? 1. Why I need to hear it 3 times? But they're going to be really good with details, simplifying things. When you go like crazy and you don't know what to stop, it's going to be good like, hey, we have the information, move on. Your type of eyebrows, you want to be bright based on data. So you don't want it to be wrong. So you're not allowing yourself to be wrong. So your standards, you have really high standards because you do your homework before you go out there. So you're going to be less patient with people who doesn't have your standards or says, I cannot do it. Did you try it? And that's why you get pissed off. And some people need more time to decide if they can do it. So pointy eyebrows that can be drawn like a triangle is about knowledge. Yeah, you are like, okay, piece of advice. When you Google something, the 3rd time you find the same article, stop. It's good enough. Okay. At some point, you need to choose a car. At some point, you need to choose the shoes. At some point, you need to choose the restaurant. How many times you want to go to a restaurant and somebody get a date and you go to all over the review of the restaurant, you know where the bathroom is located, you have all the information. You even walk to the restaurant like you live there and people like, you have been here before? Like, no. And how you know? Well, I went to Yelp and I went to the blog and talk and I don't try the fish because 2 people get poisoned in the last 2 months. And like, really? It's a freaking
I do
day.
that with
Relax.
men. I do that with men. I research them. I have to tell myself not to. You know what I mean? Because I will know everything about them. And then if we meet for the first time, I have to be careful so I'm not like What about that time in 2017 when you went to your aunt's house and
I know, that's what I'm telling you. That's okay. By the way, to people know, I read Erin for 2 minutes for two pictures. This is live, but we never talked before. I never saw you before.
No,
So I
absolutely.
know those details for your face reading. Actually, we were talking about the Indian matchmaker, and then the second episode, she get to a point like, I don't know what to do with this guy. So she goes to a matchmaker and to a person who does face reading. He does astrology. I have nothing to do. I do the hardcore of reading faces, but it's true. And the guy ended up on the last episode getting engaged. I think he getting married for that reason, because it wasn't complicated. He was complex. We have as a human being the understanding that complex is complicated, and they're two different things. Humans, we are complex because we are unique. You, I, the neighbor, we're not replicatable. But complicated is what you don't like in life. By the way, some guys like complicated. They like the drama. I don't. You don't either. So you're drama free. Your only drama is that what I'm going to be wearing when we're going on a date. That's it.
Yeah. Amen. Okay, so if somebody wants to learn more about this, if they want to join some of the studies that you're doing right now, how do they find you and how can they be involved?
Okay, we're doing an amazing study. I think it's going to help a lot of people. Not because we're doing it, it's because it's the only independent study. Nobody's paying for it, so it's not tainted, it's not biased. If you can go to humanbehaviorlab.com and go to Faces with Mask. We're doing a study that we want to have 300 people with mask only, so read the condition to participate on the study, where we're going to be reading people with mask. We're going to send the report, agree or not agree. We're going to put it on the poll and make the percentage. The second page, everybody who participate on the study plus another people we're going to choose. We're going to teach them how to read faces with mask for free. But on the second page, we're going to find people from different aspects and races and education to determine from the feedback that we have, what is the best way to explain to everyone about face reading. And the third phase is the one I like the most. We're going to teach the basic of face reading for free, so we can go back to not be fear society and to the normal as soon as we can. Everybody says that we're going to be in a mass society. For people who live alone, they're single, they're extrovert, being at home is really painful. So if we can give you tools to go back to normal as soon as you can, the only thing we're asking for you is send us a picture. I read your face. You know that it's nothing. We're not going to read anything that it can be diminished to you. Nobody's going to publish your picture, your name, or your result. Nobody's going to know who you are. All the data is stored in an external drive and it's going to be erased after 6 months. We asking you to help us to help you to learn more about yourself and others, to stop being afraid. Like you said, I went to a date with a guy with a mask. It was so weird because you didn't know what to look for. And actually the most important part of your face is not covered by the mask. So when we get one sense diminished, other ones get on place. So we can go back to normal. It's about learning how to.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I hope a lot of my listeners will submit their photos, because there is nothing to be afraid of. And it's super fascinating because when you do this and you read me, and like you mentioned, we've never met. You read my face on Eric's live show briefly, which I do have the clip too. I can show my listeners that as well. But like I said, it gave me goosebumps because you are that spot on. It's fabulous. I love it. It's so cool. Thank you so much, Susan. I greatly appreciate you being here. I greatly appreciate your time and your expertise. And I can't wait to learn more. I'm just like, it's so cool. And for my listeners out there, there's going to be a second part to this episode where Susan is going to read a few faces, and we'll have that on recording out soon. Thanks for tuning into You're Such a Catch. This episode is not over. You guys, hop on over to my website and you can see the live video in which, well, it's recorded. but it happened live, where Susan reads the faces of 5 of my friends. Well, my brother's included, so my brother is involved in that. But yes, it is fascinating. And once I get the technology down, I am not opposed to doing this more often, because it is that much fun. And once you get over the initial fear of her reading your face, you're like, oh, tell me more. So the reason I chose 5 of my closest friends was just because I could speak on their behalf, and I knew enough about their character traits and who they are as people, since it was just Susan and I on the line. But go check that out. It is fascinating. You'll dig it, you'll love it, and you'll want to be a part of our events. So thank you again for tuning in. And Katie, thanks for making this episode a reality. I love you, girl, and I love all of you, my listeners. Have a wonderful week.